The Fish and Welly inventory is a massive, highly curated collection of over 24 model RC helicopters. Seeing one of these advanced hobbyist machines tearing into the air is an undeniable rush. The mechanics are precise, the head speeds are blistering, and the sound is pure mechanical aggression. Adding a new kit to the shelf creates a hidden cascade of data management and maintenance requirements that grow exponentially with the size of the hangar. This specific hangar pushes those extremes to the limit. The roster spans from bare-bones, nimble 450 class trainers all the way up to massive 800 class turbine replicas. We are going to audit this massive inventory to see exactly how your choice of model irreversibly dictates your maintenance schedule and ultimately your actual time on the flight line. This dashboard tracks the Fish and Welly fleet, tallying the model split between owners and showing an estimated value climbing into tens of thousands of Swiss francs. When we factor in the electrical infrastructure, the massive total of lithium polymer cells required creates a logistical bottleneck. A growing fleet without a strict, standardized power and data architecture guarantees one specific outcome: grounded helicopters gathering dust. A look at the current operational status of the hangar reveals the weight of that bottleneck. A huge portion of the fleet is currently bogged down in a massive maintenance and to-do backlog. Complex scale builds are undeniably impressive to look at. Projects like the custom 3D-printed Blue Thunder require hundreds of hours of design, printing, and detailing to achieve their visual presence. The trade-off for that realism is a perpetual maintenance loop. Adjusting mechanics inside a scale fuselage is difficult, and these heavily detailed models spend the vast majority of their lives sitting on the workbench. Contrast that heavy workbench burden with bare trainer mechanics like the T-Rex 450 or the 500 series. Trainers lack a restrictive fuselage, offering exceptionally high crash resilience. When a part breaks, you swap it in minutes, resulting in almost immediate flight readiness. You do sacrifice the aesthetics. Trainers lack the visual presence of a scale build. There are no retracts, no specialized lighting systems, and no custom sound modules. This quadrant chart plots the entire fleet to visualize the divide. The heavy scale models cluster in the top left, high build complexity but low flight readiness. The trainers dominate the bottom right. For anyone managing a fleet, the data is clear. Maximum visual realism directly competes with your actual stick time. To combat this backlog, the owners have standardized all 20-plus helicopters onto FreeSky's tandem and access radio ecosystem. This flowchart illustrates the physical transition. Instead of routing messy PWM cables for every servo, the fleet moves to a clean S-bus architecture. Zooming into the pinouts, critical flight surfaces isolate to the Demon 3X flight controller, while utility features map to separate channels. S-bus reduces wiring clutter inside tight-scale fuselages, while standardizing on one transmitter brand centralizes every model memory into a single radio. The cost of this cleanliness is the labor. It requires hundreds of hours of bench time to physically gut and rewire every single helicopter in the hangar. It also exposes software hurdles. FreeSky's over-the-air SmartShare feature currently strips out the receiver configurations during the copy process. That forces the pilot to manually rebuild the channel mapping for every model shared between transmitters. However, this standardization allows for the seamless integration of FAS 100 and FAS 400 telemetry sensors across the heavy-scale models. This telemetry is vital for large builds. It pipes real-time voltage and amperage data straight to the radio, providing an early warning system to prevent catastrophic dead-stick auto-rotations. The trade-off is complexity. You are introducing new failure points directly into the high-current battery path, and it demands intricate logical switch programming to trigger the correct alarms. For a collection exceeding 5 models, the structural efficiency gained through a unified protocol provides the necessary foundation to keep these electronics manageable. The fleet is physically divided by its power architecture, Welly's Agile 6S setups versus Fish's 12S heavy lifters. This power matrix lines up the raw specifications of both approaches side by side. Highlighting Welly's column, we see a reliance on 6S 3300 mAh batteries, paired with high 1600 to 1800 kV motors. This 6S setup produces head speeds around 2600 RPM. It delivers aggressive flight performance while keeping charging logistics relatively simple and standardized. The limitation here is lifting capacity. 6S power levels restrict the size, weight, and detail of the fuselage that those mechanics can safely carry. Fish's 12S column reveals a different philosophy. These setups rely on massive, dual 6S 5000 mAh packs, driving low 450 to 530 kV motors. This delivers massive torque for scale builds, allowing realistic 1700 RPM head speeds, while keeping current between 15 and 26 amps. The logistical penalty for 12S is steep. You immediately double your battery costs, accept severe weight penalties, and you must use industrial dual-channel chargers to keep up. The absolute extreme of the scale, Fleet moves away from electric power entirely, using a JetCat PHT-3 turbine for the A109 Riga. A turbine trades everything for unmatched realism and sound. In return, you take on kerosene fuel logistics, fire safety protocols, and vastly higher mechanical maintenance. The power system you choose permanently dictates your required workshop infrastructure and caps your maximum scale ambition. The Fish and Welly inventory demonstrates that beyond a certain point, the sheer number of models in a hangar stops being an asset and starts becoming a full-time logistical job. The true metric of a successful hobbyist is the ratio of flight readiness to bench time. If you prioritize flying, you fit the Agile Optimizer profile. You should standardize your hangar on Welly's 6S 500 class Pure S-Bus approach. The Agile Optimizer sacrifices scale realism to guarantee zero kerosene logistics and maximum weekend flight time. If you chase the visual perfection of Fish's 12S or turbine builds, you are a scale realist. You must accept that these models will spend the majority of their service life in a state of revision. This scorecard maps out the mandatory infrastructure commitments for both paths. The Agile Optimizer needs standard chargers and basic tools. The Scale Realist requires high-wattage dual chargers, advanced sensors, and specialized safety gear. The Scale Realist must also invest in advanced telemetry. When flying a high-value turbine helicopter, real-time data is the only reliable way to protect that asset from a mid-air failure. You must choose your architecture before buying your next kit, because a disjointed hangar